Are we saying that Charles Barkley is better than Giannis?
I'm saying that.
There's no way you believe that.
Boy, this right here. Oh my goodness, this is bad. This is really bad, bro. So a couple of people put me on this episode of Player Choice, and apparently Unc is delusional, dementia in the brain, rotting away. And this opening clip is already egregiously bad. There's no way you think that Charles Barkley is better than Giannis. That makes no sense. Unless you're talking about like a longevity conversation. Barkley had like 10 plus years under his belt where Giannis hasn't gotten that yet. But I mean, we're getting really close to it. So unless you're making that argument, sure. But like, bro, at their best, who they are as players, like let's be honest with ourselves. It is very clearly Giannis. Very clearly.
But is Charles Barkley better than Jokic too?
Today, if Jokic's career ended today,
yeah, who's the better basketball player? Who's better?
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember Charles Barkley. I don't.
Of course he don't. There's nothing for you to remember, child. He's 12. Of course he don't remember him. What the hell? He wasn't alive. Yes, he don't remember. He doesn't remember Barkley. But what is the answer to the question? But there's no way you're about to sit here and try to explain to us that Charles Barkley is better, not just in Giannis, but Jokic as well?
Right. I don't think you know how good Barkley really was.
I watched Charles Barkley.
Barkley was a top 2 player in the world for a long time. Okay, that was going on.
Is he
so if I had to choose between the two of those guys in their prime, Barkley.
Oh no. Chill. Charles Barkley is not better than neither one of these, bro. He's not better. We are watching the pinnacle of excellence right now. We are talking about two players who are peaking at like top 10, top 15 conversations of all time. Unless you're bringing up Jordan, Jabbar, LeBron, KG, Duncan, Magic, Curry, Shaq, Kobe. Like, unless you're talking about like the peak of the peak, like top 15 peaks of all time. Hakeem Olajuwon, no. And Barkley's a really great player. Please don't ever get that messed up. I think Barkley is like one of the top 20, 25 players of all time. But no.
What we got going on right now is we got recency bias. So because what you're seeing right now from Joker is fantastic. I won't argue that. I think Joker is amazing in what Joker is doing. You guys don't remember. I was around when Barkley was playing. How good Barkley was in transition. How good Barkley was as a ball handler. How good Barkley was as a passer, as a bucket getter, on the glass.
All of those things, he's worse than both of these niggas at outside of rebounding. He's worse in transition than both of these niggas. He's worse at scoring the basketball than both of these niggas. He's worse at passing than both of these niggas. He's a worse defender than both of these niggas. He's worse than everything outside of rebounding. He is a worse version at everything.
And Giannis is great on the defense. But I mean, when you're talking about a guy who can dominate the game in the power forward era, because Giannis didn't have to do that.
A power forward era? I mean, Carmelo? Yeah, I mean, that's cool. But Barkley was not during the 2000s. The 2000s undeniably was a power forward era. Duncan, Dirk, Stoudemire, KG, Chris Webber, Pau Gasol, right? Zach Randolph, like all those players throughout the 2000s. I wouldn't consider the 90s, the late 80s throughout the 90s, the power forward era. That was clearly the center era. It was dominated by centers and then Jordan. I mean, that's what that era was dominated by. I wouldn't say that it's a power forward era.
But he didn't have to deal with Carmelo. He didn't have to deal with Tim Duncan. He didn't have to deal with Chris Webber. He didn't have to deal with Antonio McDyess. He didn't have to deal with Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh, you're okay. This nigga chill, you're dragging it, my nigga. Nigga, did you just bring up Tim Duncan and Dirk? Bro, Barkley was like at the tail end of his career by the time they came along. He definitely was at the tail end of his career when Dirk started to emerge as a consistent All-NBA caliber player where you would have to claim that someone had to deal with them. If you're talking about Barkley, you're not necessarily referring to what he was doing in Houston. You are without a doubt talking about what he was doing in Philly and Phoenix, not the latter part of his career in Houston where even he would not claim that he was one of the best at that point in time in his career. He wasn't dealing with them. He was just there. He was making it by. He was an all-star caliber player at best at that stage of his career, but he wasn't like going toe-to-toe with Tim Duncan and Dirk and them. Like, what are we talking about right now?
He still did.
Giannis played Tim Duncan.
When did Giannis play Tim Duncan?
2016.
that was 2016. He played him 2015.
Okay, and 1997 was one of Charles Barkley's last season. Like, he was done by that point. Like, he dealt with Tim Duncan. Like, he barely played him.
Barkley played 5 more years after that.
No. Barkley did not play 5 more years. Duncan came in 96, 97. Barkley played 53 games that year. Next year, 68, only started 41. After that, lockout season, to be fair, 42. In his last year, he only played 20 games. 183 games. But realistically speaking, he played 3 years that overlap with Tim Duncan's career. And throughout this, wait, actually, you know what? Oh no, he didn't. He didn't even play 3 years. Oh, I got it backwards. This nigga played 2. Oh my God. I got messed up right now. I'm mistaken a little bit. No, bro, he only basically played 2 seasons, one of which was a lockout year where he only played 42 games. No. Head to head, Barkley and Tim Duncan throughout their entire careers played 8 games. He went toe-to-toe with Tim Duncan. 8 games. Then, Charles Barkley and Dirk, it has to be even less. 6 games with one another. Oh my God. The most ravishing 6 games you ever seen in your life, ain't it? 6 games, went down to the wire. You really got to figure out who really's who in those 6 games. Bro, let's be for real, bro. 8 and 6 games is effectively 2 years. You're going to play both of these teams in the Western Conference 4 times a year. That's basically 2 years. And Dirk is nowhere near close to who he was supposed to be at that point in his career. Not even close.
But I think we're getting off the subject here because what we're forgetting that we live in a time of real time right now. If we had, I'm trying to remember if we had analytics back in 1992, if we had analytics in 1990, if we had analytics like we do today, and we had all the stuff that we're having today, if we had that stuff when we had a 6'5" guy running around averaging 25 and 11 in a big man league, being the transition player that he was. And I'm not arguing that Joker isn't a great transition player. I'm not arguing that Joker isn't a great rebounder. And I'm damn sure I'm not arguing that Joker isn't a great passer. But if we had a guy who was glass cleaning like Charles Barkley was at this time, 6'5", 6'6", running breaks, being able to be the one-on-one scorer that he was, being able to knock down mid-ranges like he did, not the defender that Giannis was, but the effect that he had on the glass, the effect that he had on overall teams, going up against teams like the Detroit Pistons, the Bulls, and handling his own and being arguably the best power forward in the game at that time. When he was doing that, I mean, I think we would have a totally different conversation about Charles Barkley today. Charles Barkley is the funny fat guy on TV. People forget who he was. And there was an argument during that time when Charles Barkley was playing that he was the best player in the world. That was a real conversation.
No, it was No, it was not. It was not no real conversation. Because the only year that he could even make that argument would be 93 or between the late 80s and throughout like the early 90s. You're telling me in Jordan's peak, it was an argument that Barkley was a best player in the NBA? No, it was not. Maybe more successful in a regular season or two because of the amount of wins that his team received, but no, he was not. Furthermore, talking about how, he and this is the thing that really just bothers me when we talk about older players. It's for whatever reason, when we want to talk about them losing, we got to talk about them losing to some of the best. But y'all don't want to sit here and talk about how Charles Barkley only made it past the second round 1 time throughout his prime. And that was in 93 when he went to the finals. All the other years, he was getting knocked out in the first or second round every single year. He didn't see another conference finals appearance until he went to go form a super team out in Houston. But this impact that Barkley had, no, he did not. He didn't have that much of an impact. He cried and complained out in Philly, then tried to form a super team out in Portland. It failed, then went to go to an actual team that was making the conference finals before he got there in Phoenix, failed to win a championship in 93, and then failed to ever make another deep postseason run within his entire time in Phoenix. That's Charles Barkley's impact. Great player, amazing player, but it's actually the inverse. If Barkley played, oh my God, imagine you sitting here talking about, but we just tend to forget. We don't really talk about how great he was. Well, let's really talk about it then. Let's really talk about it. If Charles Barkley played in today's game where he cried and complained about what team he wanted to go to when he got drafted to the point where he ate himself overweight, something he admitted, you tell me how people would talk about him. If Charles Barkley played in today's game and joined one of the most talented rosters throughout the 80s in the 76ers and still didn't have any level of professionalism to not spit on a child, throw a man through a window, and consistently could not contain himself in post-game a media presence, you tell me what we would say about him. If Charles Barkley did all of those things and every single year is first, second round exit. Oh, then I get traded to Phoenix, make it to the finals, lose. Then MJ leaves. Next year, we get knocked out the first round, if I'm not mistaken. And then don't ever see another conference finals appearance. You tell me. You really tell me. And while all that's happening, especially in today's game, where people nitpick every single last bad offensive or defensive possession that you have, just depending on your weakness, I dare any of you all to go back and just watch Barkley try to play defense. No. Barkley will have a way harder time trying to exist now than he did back then. Let's be honest with ourselves. Again, amazing talent, amazing, astonishing. But nigga, there's no 6'4", there's no 6'4" power forward coming in today's game. When they're zoned, he gets doubled, shaded over, because he can't sit here and back down all the time, and he getting that shit off because he can't back down for anything longer than 3 seconds. No.
I think Charles Barkley was a fantastic I think he was a fantastic transition player, especially as a finisher. I don't think that there's a gap between him and Barkley. I really wish that, we could.
As a finisher is crazy. Fuck, bro. I'm trying to get this nigga bill. I'm thinking like maybe he thinking about passing. No, this nigga think that this nigga is a better transitional finisher than Giannis. I don't think some people really understand what Giannis does in transition. Like on a year-to-year basis, Giannis is constantly at the top of transition points. Yeah, this year, Giannis in transition is recording 8.6 points a game. John Moran is next at 7, then RJ Barrett below 7. Everybody else is below 7. Giannis is nearly at 9 points and is converting 71% of his shots in transition. 71%, bro. It's not even like remotely close. Last year, converting 68% of his shots in transition. The year before that, Giannis at 9. Oh my God. Giannis at 8.5. Bro, stop. Bro, just think about that. This is another year where it's 8. Bro, just think about that for a second. Giannis is recording 8 to 9 points in transition. Bro, that would be nearly half of Barkley's points. That would be like if Barkley is giving you 23, 25 points and he gave you 9 points in transition. That would be a third of his points. That would be more than a third of his points. A third of Barkley points, Giannis is getting in transition. Bro, be fucking serious. Be serious, chill, bro. Be serious.
When we're talking about Joker right now, Ron, what did he go yesterday? He went 20, what did he go?
23, 17, and 15 in 3 and 3 quarters.
And the fact that we're seeing this in real time, and we see this, I mean, how many days a week do we get to see Joker? We get to see Joker, what, 3-4 days a week? We get to see him on the regular, and we're seeing this in real time. When I'm turning on the news at 15, 16, 17 years old, and I hear Barkley went 30 and 15, 40 and 20, 25 and 17, 32 and 18, 27 and 14. That was going on the regular with Charles Barkley between 1989 and 1993.
When he goes 11 and 8?
Only except I wasn't able to see it nearly as much.
Yes, you are correct, but you're effectively arguing that Barkley is great, but not greater than Jokic and Giannis, because you just listed off a bunch of stat lines. This year alone, Jokic has had a 36-point, 22 rebound, 11 assists, 4 steal game. Another 23 and 20, 16 assists game with 2 steals and 2 blocks. Another game, 27 and 20, 11 assists, 3 steals. Another game, 29 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists. Another game, 37 points, 18 rebounds, 15 assists. Another game, 41 points, 18 rebounds, 9 assists. Another game, 33 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists. Like what you're saying is true, but obviously it's not more than what Jokic and Giannis are doing, and these crazy numbers of like points and rebound combination numbers clearly aren't happening more often than it was for Jokic and Giannis, because they just average more than Charles Barkley does. They just average more. And this is even true when Barkley was in Philly on a team where there was nobody else really for him to give the ball to outside of like Hershey Hawkins, who was just a shooter, where Barkley really could have ran up the numbers. The 80s pace was on par to what we're seeing right now, and the rules benefited who Barkley was as a player, and he still was not posting up anywhere near close to some of these numbers that Jokic is posting up. And even if you believe they're on par with some of the numbers that Giannis posts up, he's nowhere near close to be the same defender. But to sit here and to say like the transition play, oh my God, bro, you're fucking reaching real deep in the bag and pulling out bullshit. That's tough, man. That's tough, chill. I looked at these comments, they're actually cooking you. I'm gonna tell you right now, chill. I've heard some bad things about you. I was like, nah, my guy, chill. Not dog. Not the old OG, but I see, dog, you're losing your edge. They say your fastball not hitting the same. They saying the take's not really going the way it's supposed to. They say you trying to mix and match some of the old school with the new, man. Don't have me come back on that panel and really start frying up and cooking, man. I done put the jersey up already. Don't make me come back over there and show you what's really good. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to beat up on you on the elderly. You know what I'm saying? But that's such a nasty. Hey, that's nasty as hell. Keep all that shit. Hey, this is a terrible take. This actually is like, I'm going to keep a list of like really, really, really bad takes. It's the top of the year, so I'll be able to like keep count of them because I've been wanting to do this for like 2 years in a row. This right here is like, this is the first really bad take I've heard, and it's bad. This is the worst take I've heard in like some months now. But yo, let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section below. Until next time, I'll see you all later.